Welcome. I'm Steve Danu, and I'm very pleased to be joined here by Jun Märkl.
Hello.
And this year, this season, we're really fortunate to be collaborating with the Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra to present a series of interviews with guest conductors that are visiting our city and conducting our orchestra. And Jun here is conducting the orchestra this weekend in a series of Mahler, Mendelssohn, and Aaron J. Kernis. So really interesting program. We're really excited to have you here with us. And just to start, we're wondering if you could tell us a bit about your background. You grew up in Germany, studied there, studied in the United States. When did you start conducting, and how did you sort of get podium time? I know a lot of conductors are trying to figure out, how do I develop as a conductor, and how did you start to do that yourself?
Yeah, actually, getting into music was very natural for me because both my parents are professional musicians. My father was a concertmaster, so violin player. My mother, pianist. So I just grew into that music and played also both instruments. And so when I was at the university later on studying piano, then I started also to work as a pianist within the orchestra and did also chamber music on a large scale and had a lot of joy in working with people. And since the piano is an instrument where you usually are solo,
Sure.
then I just said, okay, I take the piano as a tool to learn what I need for this other side, which I liked very much, working with other people and working on producing music through just contact and inspiring and working out an interpretation in a team. And so that led me to conduct and to lead ensembles on a smaller scale and then later larger scale. And yeah, that's the reason why I'm here.
Great. Yeah. What is your approach to programming a concert? If you were going to try to develop a particular series or program, how do you choose repertoire that you pull together?
That's very different whether I'm in the situation of being a music director or a guest conductor. In this case here for this week, I was given actually the first half of this program. The Kernis, I was asked to do this, so I didn't know the piece before. And then I asked, please, could you send me the score that I would have an idea what it could be. And then after having seen the score, I said, yes, the orchestral part is fine. I think that's fine. Let's do it. But then also I realized there is a synthesizer and there are different tapes or different sound effects being played in during the performance, which are not in the score. So actually, until the performance, I didn't have any idea how the whole piece would be, and so that was a surprise. Yeah. Mendelssohn, of course, that was because we had Jennifer Coe.
Sure. Yeah.
And then for the work after the intermission, I was asked to offer some kind of big German romantic repertoire, and I gave them a long list, and they have chosen it. So actually, it's a kind of collaboration.
Yeah, that's nice.
A collaboration between a guest conductor and the management of an orchestra, and so because I want to make them happy that they feel they have got a good program. I do not know what they had right before or what they would play in the next concert, so usually that's the way how it works. I give them a list of what I can do, and they make a choice.
Interesting. Okay. And this is a sort of follow-up, and maybe this depends, like you said, on being artistic director or guest conducting, but more and more orchestras are doing concerts in new ways, in different venues or programming a wider range of music, trying to reach new audiences. Do you think we need to be, in some ways, changing the model of how orchestras are presenting concerts, and are there things that you try to incorporate into concerts?
We have to undergo a lot of changes in the future. But on the other hand, we should keep those things from the past which were working and are still working well. So I think it's very much about the variety of things what we're doing. Until now, or maybe 10 years ago, we just kept doing the same thing what we have done for 100 years. But now I think we have to reach out a lot to the community, and depending to whom we try to reach out, the product has to be different. So kind of going to other places or in our hall to offer different kind of concerts would be very important. The main point is to reach other people, to connect to them, to give them a personal message that they really feel touched, and that's for them the reason to come to our concerts. And so make the orchestra, and the classical symphony orchestra is a quite complicated thing. Yeah? Make that accessible, and we have to explain a lot what it is, who we are, and why we can offer something of high value. And so I think we have to be very flexible.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. Also, you have obviously conducted orchestras around the world, and as you mentioned before, we're in a state of change, especially in the United States. Do you see the kinds of labor disputes and issues that we're having in the United States? Do you see those around the world when you travel to other countries as well?
Very rarely. The way how it works here is very unusual. The reason why, for example, for Europeans, this is very unusual, because we feel we are very close to the product, to the result. We don't want to endanger the concert and what we want to give to the audience. That's kind of holy thing. So, of course, there are very sometimes intense discussions what to do. Even sometimes we have strikes, but that a performance could be cancelled of this is really the worst case ever, and it's very rare. And so we do not have this division between unions and management. Of course we have it, but not in this way in Japan, for example, where I work a lot, or not in Europe.
Interesting. Great. Well, I think one final question that I think all of our viewers and readers would like to know is, just for younger musicians, for folks in college or graduate school, maybe young professionals, what would you say to them if they want to become an orchestral musician or maybe a conductor? What would you tell them in terms of what they should be thinking about, what they should be doing?
My parents were always telling me, don't go into that business. It's very tough. So that's really true. It's not a business where you really make a lot of money, and you have really to work very hard. So only if you're really convinced that this is the thing you have to do, and you want to commit your life to this, then do it. But otherwise, choose something else. And once you think about an orchestra, it's really all about teamwork. You have to sit together with colleagues for, let's say, 40 years maybe, yeah? And this is not always easy, but it has also its wonderful things, that you have the same people around and you're working on something so positive, like creating something, some great events and values. And this is something which is challenging, and you are in a profession, you always be seen by others. 2,000 other people would see how you work. You can't lean back and you can't hide. Yeah? They will see you. And So you have to find also a way how to deal with the stress of this situation. And if you feel you can do that, then it's fine. It's a wonderful profession. And if you can't do that, it kills you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for being with us and
Thank you.
talking
all
with
the time.
us, and we
Yeah.
really appreciate it. And best of
Welcome.
luck to the rest of your weekend here conducting.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.